Hello, Michael Kerr here, just out for a little ski. Got a little inspired by the Olympics. Ah! Okay, I'm back. That tree is going to be just fine. Don't worry about the tree. And I'm okay too. And yes, I always dress like this when I go skiing because, you know, I'm a professional. Now, watching the Olympics, I've thought of two more lessons to build on our Humor at Work episode from 2 weeks ago that the Olympics can remind us of in terms of using our sense of humor and in terms of stuff we can apply to the workplace. And both of them have to do with this idea of using humor to reframe our challenges. We know when we reframe how we look at things in the world, it helps us tap into our sense of humor. And conversely, tapping into our sense of humor helps us reframe our challenges. So the first lesson about reframing things is this. I've had all sorts of people talk to me about how they're worried about productivity in the workplace because of the Olympics, because people are going to be watching the Olympics so much, and that people might be slacking off a little at work. Big deal. So what? It's 2 weeks every 4 years. This is a chance, if we reframe it, instead of thinking about, you know, woe's me, where people might be slacking off, reframe it. And instead of seeing it as a productivity loss, see it as a productivity gain by tying into the Olympics, building on the Olympics. Get creative, get flexible in your workplace, and create fun opportunities around it. Do something to build on that team spirit that's going on around the world right now and transfer that into your workplace. The other lesson about reframing, and there was actually a piece about this in the Globe and Mail newspaper last week, something that I've been speaking about for years, how it's been shown that with a lot of ex-Olympians, the silver medalists, not always, but often, the silver medalists are less happy with their medal than the bronze medalists. Now you'd think, wait a minute, isn't finishing second better than finishing third? But of course, what we have to remember is that with a lot of life's challenges, when it comes to dealing with stress in our life, stress is in the eye of the beholder. Everything comes down to our attitude in life. Everything comes down to how we talk to ourselves. That voice or voices, I have like about 18 in my head, are saying to us about the events that happen to us in our lives. Stress is in the eye of the beholder. Humor is in the eye of the beholder. So no wonder it's thought that humor is one of the most powerful stress busters available to us. So going back to the silver and bronze medalists, what's going on here? Well, it all has to do with what those little voices are saying to them, right? The silver medalists' voices are saying what? They're haunted by the fact that they missed gold by this much. They could have been the world champion, if not for 0.008 of a second. But what are the bronze medalists thinking? Whoosh! I made the podium. You know, I could have been fourth. No one remembers the fourth place person. And so thinking about these athletes and seeing the great gold medalists standing up there on the podium and seeing the disappointment in some of the athletes that had just near victories, it reminds me again of how humor can help us reframe those challenges at both extremes. Here is the typical human head, is it not? But what happens sometimes to us mere mortals? Well, sometimes if we win gold in the Olympics, there's a danger that this is going to happen to the size of our head. And all of a sudden we're walking around with this giant, enormous head because we're the world champion. So we have to remind ourselves that humor is one of the most wonderful human gifts there is for keeping us humble, for keeping our head size normal. But a sense of humor also helps us at the other end of the scale when things kind of go like that and we finish in 4th place or 44th place. Humor helps us overcome those challenges, those disappointments in life. They give us that perspective we need so we're not haunted by our mistakes. They help us pull us out of the dungeon when we have those 4th place finishes. They help us remain humble when we win the gold medal. Thanks everyone for dropping by. See you next week.